Disturbed she is by what she witnessed. Many of the people leaving the mall lucky to be alive. Welcome back. I'm Rick Sanchez. This is Out in the Open. Breaking news out of Omaha, Nebraska. Just after the President of the United States had left Omaha, Nebraska, a shooting there at a mall. 9 people are dead. 5 people are hospitalized. 3 in critical condition. By the way, of the 9 that we're talking about, one of them is the shooter himself on the 3rd floor of a store. He committed suicide, according to police. Still a lot of questions as to how this happened, why this happened, and what was inside the mind of the shooter to take so many people out with himself. Why would he do something like this? We're getting some new details now as we continue to follow this breaking news. Police continue to do interviews with some of the shoppers who were there at the mall. In fact, they told us just a while ago that they're interviewing them to find out what they could have known. Those who don't know, they're letting leave the area. We're also getting information that police are telling people in Omaha not to go anywhere near the vicinity of that mall. Information that we thought we would pass along to you. Let's bring in now Alan Lipman. Alan Lipman is the founder and director of the Center for Study of Violence. I guess we could say that you make it your business to understand the minds of people as disturbed as this gentleman seemed to be. His name is Robert Hawkins. Just from what you've heard so far, Alan, what do you make of this character?
Well, of course, we always want to be careful not to speculate before all the information is in.
Of course.
But, you know, we've seen a lot of these shootings. I mean, we've seen Springfield, Tacoma, we've seen Utah, and the information that we've seen so far suggests a few possibilities. Typically in these cases, the person is either psychotic, they either are sociopathic, or they're depressed. And you asked an excellent question. You said, why when someone is depressed would they turn it outward in this violence instead of inward?
Right.
This is more like Virginia Tech. This is more like Columbine, I believe, than the other mall shootings. This, I believe, we will see when the facts come out, will be an angry kid, long history of depression, long period of antidepressants, told other people that he was going to be violent in the past, and felt so hopeless and enraged that just like Cho in the Virginia Tech killings, he felt like the only option was to go out in a blaze of glory. So, you know, if you're going to aggrandize yourself, you don't necessarily do it in a suicide pact.
That is so troubling, though. Let me read you some more information we're just now getting in. This is from the Associated Press, interviews they've done with folks in his neighborhood there in Bellevue, which apparently is a middle-class area. They say when he first came into the house, he was introverted, a troubled young man, who was a lost pound puppy that nobody seemed to want. Not sure exactly what that means. Can you hold on, Jeff? What do you want to see?
I'll tell you.
Hold on just a minute, Alan. My producer's telling me that we've got some pictures now. Oh, picture of the suspect. Is that what you're saying? All right, let's go. Here we go. New video coming in now. This is the suspect. This is what he looks like. This is the first time that we've been able to get a shot of him. I'm going to just lean up here so I can see him myself. Robert A. Hawkins. Just looks like any young kid, doesn't he?
Well, look a little closer, Rick, because what you see there and what I think we'll begin to see is someone who was lost, who wasn't seen, who was someone who was kind of a shut-in, perhaps someone lost in kind of a fantasy world, a lot like Cho. This is someone who I'll bet you we'll find out in the coming days was telling people that he was angry.
As a matter of fact, you're right. I was reading a report just moments ago from one of the stations there that seemed to indicate that one of his friends thought he was extremely depressed, was on antidepressants, and was seemingly suicidal within the last couple of weeks.
Well, this is what I mean. Now, let me tell you something about this. The Secret Service did a report on killers just like this over the last 15 years or so. We worked on a part of that report in a group that I was working on. And in every single one of these cases, the person tells other people, friends, family members, co-workers, teachers, that they're going to do it. And unbelievably, Rick, they don't respond.
Going to do it? Did you say, because it's one thing to tell, because listen, we all get depressed. And I've told people, yeah, I'm a little depressed today. There's a difference between being depressed and being suicidal to the point of being manic and wanting to kill other people.
Well, he wasn't manic, but Rick, there's a difference between depressed, which is the common nomenclature that people use when they feel down, sad, blue, down in the dumps, and clinically depressed. This kid, now we know, as I had suggested earlier, was on antidepressants. I suspect there'll be a long history of that. And depression, Rick, is anger turned inward. That's the classic phrase for it. And sometimes when kids get so hopeless, like Dylan Klebold, like Eric Harris, like Cho, and now like Hawkins, they turn it outward and they want to go out in a blaze of glory. Remember the pictures that we saw at the end of Virginia Tech?
Right.
The kind of grandiose explosion of suicidal rage? Hawkins. That's what we're seeing here. And I suspect when we see the suicide note, we will see the story of a troubled, angry, depressed,
well, hold on.
We're
just now getting new information from the Omaha World-Herald that he apparently had lost his job. I guess we could say he'd been fired for stealing money. So there, I don't know.
The provoking incident.
The triggering mechanism, right? I mean, this is the thing.
It's the provoking incident. You know, with Cho, we saw it when he was having trouble with his grades. With Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, we saw it when there was confrontation with the parents. Now we see it with Hawkins, someone who's depressed.
How do we protect ourselves against people like this, especially in public places? That's part of the discussion that we're going to continue as we look into this case. Breaking news. We'll get back to you. Alan, stay where you are. We're going to come back in just a little bit. We're going to take a break on the other side. More information, more witnesses who were there on the scene, more of my discussion with Alan about who this suspect was, and I guess a key question for all of us, if we plan to go out in public, which we can't help but do, how do you protect yourself against somebody like this? He'll have the answer. Stay right there.
I was stepping off the escalator, and I heard loud booms. She turned around and walked towards the escalator, and I grabbed her, and we started running to the back. I don't think anybody believed it was gunshots.